some cheap and reliable coins, check out FIFACoinZone.com. Use FANGS for a 5% discount. I'll have a link in the description down below. They are amazing. Hey guys, how's it going? It is FANGS, and welcome to a Q&A that I'm going to be doing today. So I've done a lot of Snapchat Q&As, and I decided a lot of people don't like to send Snapchat videos, and I have a lot of fans that are just like, don't want to do that. So I went back to doing a Twitter Q&A. If you ever want to have a chance to ask me just regular questions on Twitter, you have to follow me. I'll have a link to my Twitter in the description down below. It is ITSFANGS. It's FANGS. But anyway, I got a ton of questions. I'm sorry if I wasn't able to get to yours, but let's get started with them right here. What is your favorite thing about living in America? I'd have to say, I've traveled to some different countries now in my lifetime, and this could just be me being like a snob American, and I'm not trying to be whatsoever. It could just be because I'm just used to it. But the food in the United States, I think, is just amazing. And I know that we're like an assimilation of all different countries because we're just a bunch of immigrants, really, because we've come from everywhere and we have all different kinds of foods from different countries. But the way we do it and the stuff that we put in and how unhealthy it is and what makes it taste so good is what I love about the United States. And we are like one of the fatter countries in the world, but the food is just so good. And if you're like a person who decides you want to work out, you can still eat those foods and you won't be counted as one of those fattest people in the United States of America. But I've been to other countries, and for some reason I'm okay with food in some of the other countries, but by the time I come back to the United States, I'm like rushing to get to like my favorite food places. And once again, that just could be that's what I'm used to, but I love the food in the United States. The last time you beat the crap out of somebody. Funny story, I didn't really beat the crap out, I guess I kind of beat the crap out of them, but it wasn't like I was like pulverizing them. Whenever, I think it was like not a couple of New Years ago, wow, it was like 8 New Years ago, Doobie happened to be getting in a fight with somebody. They were both drunk. It was a really crazy New Year's, but everybody was drunk at this house party. It was 4 in the morning. We should not have been awake on New Year's Eve. So Doobie got in a fight with a guy, and his girlfriend, I guess she saw it happening. She was already crazy, and everybody was tired of her the whole night. She comes running across the room, and Doobie's underneath the guy, like hitting him from below, just punching forward or whatever. And I know that she's gonna come. I can see her like coming to rear up to try to kick him. She was gonna try to kick him in the face. So in that moment, I don't usually fight. I'm not a fighter, but I had an instinct, and so I got up off of my chair, ran up, and just clotheslined her, completely leveled her to where she fell flat back onto her back. And then I got on top of her and I started like kicking her. Who's the biatch now? And I was just, I don't know why. I don't know what my instinct was, but I decided to start kicking her. I had to be pulled off of her. But that's like the time that I beat the crap out of somebody, and I kind of feel bad about it, but she was a weird, crazy bitch anyway, so everybody was pretty happy with me after that party. What's the meaning of life to you? I say the meaning of life is to be happy more than anything, to love what you do, to find someone that you love, and to be happy. And if you have all of that, then nothing else really matters. I mean, money is amazing, but it's not gonna really buy you happiness, and it's hard to find it, because I know I've had like my times where I'm low and I'm high and I have all this stuff, but in the end, if you can find that perfect medium, that is the meaning of life. How tall are you? I am 5 foot 9 inches tall. I don't know if anyone's ever guessed that. I think it's pretty tall for a female, but some people tell me that that's not like tall for a female. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Can you dab? How did you behave in school? Grades-wise, in school, I was actually like really good. I was a B student, mostly A's. I think I got 2 C's the entire time that I was in high school, at least. No, wait, no. High school, no. In college is when I got my C's. But I was really good. I just had a really bad attitude. I thought that I was just like this smartass and that I knew everything. And there were some teachers who I really think I knew more than, because they were, I don't know, there was something wrong with them. But at that time in my life, I had a really bad attitude and I was a know-it-all. And so I mouthed off a lot and I got in a lot of trouble. Like, I got a lot of used for unsatisfactory conduct or something. I don't even know what it was, something. But I got in a lot of trouble when it came to that, so I spent some time in the office, and yeah, it kind of sucked. Have you ever crashed your car, and how did you crash it? So I've crashed my car multiple times, but the one that was like sticks out to me the most, I was 15 whenever I got my what they call a hardship license. So my dad owned a business and he said that I worked for him and I needed to drive a car so that I could get a license early, pretty much. So I was driving when I was 15. I wasn't allowed to have anybody in the car with me, and I wasn't allowed to be out past 8 p.m. But this was right after school. I probably had the car for like 2.5, 3 weeks, and I had my friend Sydney in the car, which I probably shouldn't have. But we were driving by the school. This was totally not my fault, by the way, but I'm just gonna continue telling the story. We were driving by the school and there's this hill at the end, like there's a stoplight and you like go and you have to like stop in the stoplight at this hill. And so I knew that was coming. I was paying attention. I was not on my cell phone, which they told my dad that I was on, but I was just driving along and there was this little blue car weaving in and out of traffic trying to like get faster through traffic. And in the moment of the red light, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna slowly like kind of come to a stop because I know that I'm gonna be at a red light. Well, this car decides in the process of me doing that to just slide right in front of me. Like they barely had any room to fit. And they fit right in front of me, slammed their brakes, and I just instantly, it was like a complete boom, hit them. No airbags came out. That would have been crazy. I've yet to have airbags come out whenever I get in car wrecks. But I hit them instantly, jerked forward. Me and my friend Sydney got whiplash, pulled over to the side. My car was messed up, like my hood was like pushed in. The back of their trunk was just completely ruined because I had a grill guard. I had this like car that had a grill guard, and so it had hit him or hit them. And the lady was like this like crazy white trash lady. So she gets out of the car and she's just screaming and throwing her hands up, and she comes to my window and she's like, "This is my new car that you just hit." And I'm like 15 and like trying not to cry, like, what just happened? My neck was killing me. Her friend finally calmed her down. But in the state of Texas, no matter what happens, if you hit somebody from behind, it's your fault. So I had to pay for her car. She tried to get me to pay for her medical bills, but it turns out she'd been in like 6 wrecks before. I think she was like a habitual car crasher. I don't even know. But we ended up not having to do that, and it was just crazy. Like, that was one of those surreal moments. I remember I had to call my friend Sydney's dad, like, come get Sydney, because if the cops come and she was in the car, then I'd get my license taken away. So she got taken away, but it was pretty crazy. Car wrecks are not fun. And my car didn't get completely fixed either. My dad just, like, pulled out my grill guard, and then he just like flattened my roof, and I had to drive with that, but it ended up not looking too bad. Name something that you'd like to do that you haven't done yet. Something that I'd like to do that I've never done, but I think I'm gonna end up always being too terrified to do, is go surfing. Like, I think that's the coolest thing, the way that you can like learn. I wakeboard, by the way. I'm not good at it. I do it though, but I wakeboard, so to be able to get up on a board and ride a wave would be insane. But I'm terrified of sharks, terrified of any fish in the ocean pretty much. Like, going out that far, I feel like I'm gonna die. And I just don't think that I'll have the chance, especially because the sharks like to come after surfers because they think they're seals or whatever when they're on their surfboards. So that scares me, but that is one thing, at some point in my life, I would love to do that. I just don't know if it'll ever happen. If you could travel to any fictional place, either from a book or a movie, where would it be and why? So my entire life, the place that I've wanted to go to that's fictional, it was in a book and it was in a movie. Hook is the one that I think of the most. The movie Hook, if you haven't got to watch it, watch it. And I'm not promoting that movie, but it is amazing. It is Neverland, and that is where Peter Pan goes, and he's there, and you never grow up, for one. You're a kid and you never grow up, so when I was a kid, I was like, that sounds awesome! Not to mention, in Hook, they have this scene where they're all sitting at the table, and they have all this food show up, and they're just eating it, and it looks amazing, but it ends up, it's just imaginary. There's no food there. I guess they don't have to eat food. I didn't really quite understand that, but that whole Neverland thing looked freaking amazing. So if I had a choice, I would be in freaking Neverland with Rufio, whoever, Peter Pan, Hook, Rufio, Neverland. What was your very first job? My very first job was like such a random job. When I was 15 or 16, I think I was 16, I got a job at a place called Wing Shack for 2 weeks, by the way. I was only there for 2 weeks. I did not want to work, but I was like, you know what? I can earn some extra money this summer, and I decided to do it. So I went to this place called Wing Shack. It had just opened, and it had 2 owners who were, funny story, I have to tell you about this. They were Asian, 2 Asian owners, and I was their only employee besides one other person, so they were working me hard, like all hours. They were making me serve alcohol when I definitely wasn't old enough to serve alcohol. I had to do all the wings. I learned how to use a fryer. Literally, you like take the wings, pull them out of a bag, put them in this little like dipper thing, dip them in the fryer, and then you let it go for 10 minutes, and then you put them in a bowl and you flip them around with the sauce in there, and sometimes they'd fall out, and I might have picked one up and put it back in, so you think about that when you're eating your chicken wings. But one time, I always had friends come, like in the 2 weeks, I say always. I literally had like 4 friends come visit to eat there in the 2 weeks because I'd give them free wings. But they one time were like, someone showed up for you yesterday or whatever, and you weren't here, and I was like, oh, really? Like, what was their name? What did they look like? And they were like, oh, you know, all white people look the same. I was like, what? It was the funniest thing that I had heard. So yeah, That was pretty racist of them. Oh, and by the way, when I quit that job, I made my dad do it. He had to call. I was so, oh my God. I made my dad call and quit the job for me. Hey Fangs, can you pronounce this name? It's a winger of Feyenoord Rotterdam, which I can't even pronounce. All right, if I was gonna first look at this is my first attempt. Belal Basakigolu. Belal Basakigolu. Let's see how it's really pronounced. Oh my, how does that create that? Bilal Bakalu. How does that, I probably didn't even say it right that time. How on earth does that create, obviously because those letters probably sound a lot different than I thought they did. What would your FIFA card look like? So I'm always gonna place my face over this person, but I would have to say this would be my card. As you can see, got 90 pace, because I'm pretty quick. 85 shooting, which it probably should not be that because I'm pretty sure I just own goal a lot of the time. 80 passing, because I feel like if I got the ball, I'm just gonna pass it so that I don't have to touch it anymore. 5 dribbling, because I actually did a dribbling drill that you can see on Dirty Mike's channel where I just can't dribble. 75 defending, because I was pretty good at defending in basketball, so what, it might as well correlate to football, right? And 50 physical, because I just literally weigh nothing, and I'm not that physical, so I don't think I'd be very physical, but this is my card right here. Who do you like most out of the pack? Funny enough, I actually live probably 1 or 2 miles from one of the members of the pack, which is weird because not a whole lot of people live in Texas for one as YouTubers, but then in Fort Worth, Texas, where I live. So I live by Preston Plays, which is kind of funny, and apparently Vicstar is going to be coming to visit him at one point, and then I'll be able to see Vicstar here in Fort Worth, which would be kind of weird. But obviously, I don't really know very many people from the pack. I've met 2 of them, I believe. If Lachlan is in there, because I actually don't completely even know who's in the pack. But I imagine that Lachlan is in there, and I know Vicstar is, and I know Preston Plays is. So I'd have to say Vicstar, because I've worked with him, I know him, he's a really awesome guy, so he is my favorite member of the pack. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for that Q&A for today. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. Had some pretty good questions. I usually have the same ones over and over that are something like, hey, why did you start YouTube? And so on and so forth, which I have answered those. And maybe I'll make another video at some point re-answering them because I have a ton of new subs now. We are so close to 1 million subscribers. By the time this comes out, something crazy could have happened and I could possibly already have 1 million, but I probably don't. So that is amazing. When we do get there, I'm gonna try to make a special video for you guys, but it's supposed to be something wild where I go to a different country and do it. And I don't know if I can like pull it together in time. I think I can, obviously. Like you guys don't have to have the 1 million video like right when I hit 1 million. So I'm gonna work on getting it made for you, but what? Something could happen. I can just not hit 1 million, who knows? That is gonna be it for this video though, and until next time, see you guys later.